It is my pleasure to introduce the academic leader for the class of 2010, Sarah Miller, to present her speech.
Yes, I'm barefoot right now. I broke my shoe. Good evening, faculty, family, friends, and of course my fellow seniors. Welcome to the commencement ceremony of the West Bridgewater class of 2010. When I first learned I would be giving a speech tonight, I was very excited to say the least, and I'm truly honored to be doing so. Yet my enthusiasm quickly evolved into the anxious realization that I would actually have to write the speech. I started searching everywhere for tips on how to give a memorable speech, and there were many. Make sure I do not get too personal with class jokes. Make sure I mention the graduating class. That was news to me. I was told by some not to make it too lengthy, some not too short. Speak slowly, even if it feels unnatural. How am I doing? Because I feel like I am pausing between every, well, you get the point. The teachers advised me to make my speech worldly. My mom wanted to make sure I gave an address which had a meaningful message. I've probably been asked conservatively 100 times what I intended to talk about. And then it dawned on me that writing and giving this speech is not much different than our high school experience, and really life itself. You receive an overwhelming amount of advice on how to do something, but in the end, everything depends on what your own input dictates. Now, I could stand here and list off the many ways our class fits the quintessential mold of seniors. Hardworking, at least until our research papers were handed in, spirited, undefeated on each day of Spirit Week, and role models, 100% of us passing our MCAS exams. Oh wait, did I just list off some class achievements? Sorry. What I meant to say was that merely listing these achievements would be an injustice to the very core of the class of 2010. To put simply, we break the mold of the stereotypical senior class. We have set the bar so high that our class mentality can be traced back to some of our nation's most powerful and influential minds, the Transcendentalists. Don't worry, I'm not going to bore you with the history lesson, but sometimes, all the time actually, life's most valuable lessons come from our collective past. These minds were so influential that they are remembered by single names: Emerson, Thoreau, Hawthorne, Dickinson, to name a few. This group found themselves on the verge of a new frontier in literature, technology, and socio-political ideals. In a time of mass confusion, they were the voices providing a calm serenity, pushing the success of a community on the responsibility of the individual. In a time when it would have been easy, predictable even, to follow the precedents of their ancestors, they understood the magnitude of their own thoughts, and as a result, developed one of this nation's greatest social and ideological movements. But at the very center of their movement was the heart, head, and hands of the individual, each playing an integral role as that individual strives to better themselves for the sake of their community. Heart, by definition, is an organ responsible for the pumping of blood throughout an organism's cardiovascular system. Without it, man wouldn't function and succeed, if you will, in its scientific quest for survival. But the heart is so much more than what science has confined it to be. The heart beats beyond its borders into a grand and versatile being unto itself, responsible for the absorption of all of our emotional needs and desires. Simply, you need a heart to physically live, but you need that figurative heart to live well beyond your limitations. Class of 2010 has heart. Our collective heart is so big that if you listen closely, you just may hear the faint thump of our unified heartbeat. To say our class is determined would be a vast understatement. Though some may have caught senioritis a bit early this year, there still is no lull in our will to see this year reach its end, even in its bittersweetness. We have heart because we have gone above what our community expected of us. We were asked to complete a year-long senior project of choice as a part of our contemporary American issues curriculum. But instead of simply going through the motions, we took it upon ourselves to show the world what we were made of. Bone marrow drives, blood drives, saved our fur night, relay for a cure, soccer camps for autism awareness, Haiti relief drives. Money was raised, donations collected, and lives were changed because of us. Our senior projects challenged us to become reflective individuals with the talents and skills necessary to create hope in the pursuit of our dreams. And even in our individual accomplishments, the shared experience of the projects enhanced us all. We could find us all showing support not just for these worthwhile causes, but for each other, because our hearts have told us that there is more to life than just the basics. Heart, as redefined by our class, is living beyond our supposed limitations. Head, by definition, is the center of intellect as of thought, memory, understanding, or emotional control. Yet for all of its generalities, the head implies and signifies a sort of stability in human nature. Despite its most intricate capabilities, the head's instincts are what truly make it remarkable. Instantaneous reflexes and witty comebacks those teachers you're joking around with all stem from the strength of one's head and one's ability to let instincts take over. The class of 2010 has strong instincts, which allow us to make the most of what we have to offer. Our instincts told us which classes we should take in high school, even with others telling us which ones were fun, easy, and or the most beneficial. Our instincts told us which college to attend, even if our families had another one in their own minds. Our instincts are going to tell us where to take our lives from here on out. The important thing is to trust them. Our instincts will help us make good choices. It could be as simple as not eating that strange gray substance in our college dining hall, or deciding that maybe the third frat party for the night is not the best idea. Head, as redefined by our class, is trusting yourself to make the right choice for you and no one else. And that leaves us with hands. Hands traditionally are a forgotten privilege of humans, responsible for enacting those decisions made by our hearts and heads. Whether physically or figuratively, your hands grant you authority that may otherwise be lacking for other beings. Hands show the emotions felt in your heart and respond with the swiftness of instinct in your head. Hands record your knowledge and caress your memory. They embody life. We, the class of 2010, definitely have hands, well, at least physically. But I do not think we quite understand the immense power that lies within them. Hands, like our hearts and heads, are not just defined by what science suggests. They are defined by our actions. Whether good or bad, our hands are blamed or praised for what we do. Hands encompass the spirit of the soul and represent much more than we give them credit for. When it's hard to hear our voices, our hands have the ability to change that. Our hands, though small in comparison to the size of our bodies, have capabilities as expansive as the dreams our hearts and heads create. Hands, as redefined by our class, the source of our power. Briefly, I must bring you back a few hundred years again and ask you to recall the names of those influential transcendentalists and show you how their individual hearts, heads, and hands created the lives we have today. Their hearts desire change, their instincts create solutions, and their hands made it all happen. They evolved both with and against society because society's input suggested where the path may lead, but their own input dictated where their hearts, heads, and hands would follow. The West Bridgewater Class of 2010 has reached a point in our lives where society, technology, and life as we know it are undergoing their own metamorphosis. We are off to different places, some as nearby as Bridgewater State College, and some as far away as boot camp in Oklahoma. But three things will remain constant: our hearts, our heads, and our hands. No matter where you find yourselves in the coming years, know that you have the power within you to literally change the world. Heed the input of others, but listen to your whole heart. Yield to your wise head, and do what it takes to move things along with your strong hands. You are your most powerful advocate for change. The strength of a movement some 100 years old lies deep within us, and you need only look just past your own elbow to see the culmination of their power within you. Congratulations, Class of 2010. We did it. Now go be amazing.